Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome to the FSX 404 channel. Today I'm going to do a video on how to land at Catalina. Before I talk about Catalina any further, let me first mention that the runway length at Catalina is 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet is just about enough to land any turboprop airplane without any problems. For some reason, people get an idea that they have to do a short field landing at Catalina, and that is not true. You can do a normal landing at Catalina. There is no need to do a short field landing. So having said the Catalina runway is long enough, let's get into details about the runway itself. The very first thing we have to remember about Catalina is that the runway is sloped about 1,800 feet. First 1,800 feet of the runway 22 are sloped up, and then there's about 1,200 feet that is level on top. So the sloped runway creates a visual illusion that you're actually higher than you are. As demonstrated here by this little animation, you can see how the sloped up runway makes you feel that you're higher than you are. If you have this illusion that you're higher than you are, you tend to come down low. Now, if you come in low at Catalina, because of this visual illusion, you're going to run into the second problem. At each end of the Catalina runway, there's a cliff. Basically, the runway ends. Because of these cliffs, the winds that come in, they come up over the runway and then they come down, just as shown. Now, what happens is if you're coming in at a normal approach or low approach, these winds are going to hit you just as you're about to cross the threshold, and they're going to push you right into the side of the cliff. So you're going to have to know these winds and be ready for them. And the way you get ready for them is that first, remember, you got 3,000 feet, so you don't have to touch down right at the end of the runway. You can come in a little bit further in. And the second thing is we have to do a steep approach. We have to kind of drop onto the runway from the top. And from the actual video you're going to see, I'm doing about 750 feet per minute rate of descent. That's about 4.5 to 5 degrees of slope. So that's 2 degrees more than normal. And the last visual illusion that Catalina Airport creates is that the runway is shorter than it is. If we look at the first part of the runway, it's sloped up. The whole runway is not sloped up, just the first part, 1,800 feet. So what happens is when you get down past a certain point, you're not going to have any visual of the last 1,200 feet of the runway. What this does mentally, it can confuse you because just as you're coming down and about to flare, all of a sudden, you're not seeing about half of the runway. And that creates this illusion that the runway is short. You have to stop. If you're a new pilot, if you're not familiar with this, it can be unnerving. So you just have to remember that once you get past this certain point, you're not going to be able to see the whole runway. You just have to believe that there is about 1,200 feet left of this runway that you're not seeing. And you'll see this more in the video. Now let's get in the plane, guys, and let's do this final approach in Catalina.
Okay, so we're in the airplane, guys. We're descending about 750 feet per minute, about 4.5 to 5 degrees of slope. I have a GoPro on, and the GoPro doesn't actually give you the steepness effect. Because the way the lens is designed, you actually don't see how steep we're coming in. But trust me, we're coming in pretty steep. You'll see at the end how fast the runway comes in. Anyway, other than that, this is just a normal approach. You can see the runway. I'm coming in at normal airspeed. It's going to be 65 by the time we start the flare, which is a perfect airspeed. And past a certain point, we're not going to see the end of the runway, and this should be it. Now, once we touch down, I'm going to talk just a little bit more, and until then, let's keep a sterile cockpit. Okay, touchdown. As you can see, it doesn't look like we have very far to go on this runway, but you have to believe there's another 1,200 feet. It was a smooth touchdown. The flare had to be just perfect, and I hit it this time. Consequently, this was my 1,001st landing ever, according to my logbook. So you guys got to be a part of it with me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.